point is, the end result is the same.
Duty calls.
I have searched the world over for you.
That is so cool.
You guys all just have this really tight bond.
Just call me the computer whisperer. He seemed so nice and warm.
You don't want to come back to my place?
The bleach smell makes me nauseous.
I thought it was going to be a slow night.
It's fucking fantastic.
I love that sound.
Can we go now?
Hey, buddy. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm okay.
Neat. Welcome to Beer with Buffy. I'm Josh.
And I'm Rex.
And today on Beer with Buffy, we're reviewing Season 5, Episode 13, entitled Blood Ties.
That is correct.
They've been tying all the bloods together, making all those hemoglobins trip over themselves. The shoelaces are just a fucking spaghetti mess. Spag-hatification of blood. Just remember that. That is, yeah.
No, like you could actually make blood spaghetti.
Neat.
Because you can substitute eggs and blood. Like if a recipe calls for eggs, there's a certain amount of blood that you can substitute it for because the properties of blood.
Gross. Hey, speaking of blood spaghettification, fuck-a-doodle-doo, Rex. Why don't we rattle off a list of all of our executive doodle-doos? And on this giant list of executive doodle-doos, we have David Scharinghausen, Cubby Seal, Mr. Tobalicious, Sandra Craig, Jay Sommer, Catherine Parkinson, Karen Moon, Chris V-Man, Catrick J. Fur, Scarlett Choi. Cat naming services heaps. Thanks for the shout-out. We're not going to forget to name your cat. Okay, just calm down. It's going to be okay. Andy Burgess, K. Frenome, Father Defenestrato, Methuen DeBurr, Kelly MC, Jesse Rain, and Carrie Phillips.
Thank you very much. Without you, this show literally isn't possible.
Bam. Damn straight. Next on the docket. Hey, I keep yelling at you about iTunes reviews. Guess what? Some people gave us some iTunes reviews.
Yeah, they came through.
I think it was because I said it makes me sad when we don't get the wordy words on the starry stars.
I was going to say the wordy words on the screeny screen.
On the starry stars. The starry stars on the screeny screen.
Yeah.
Need the wordy words. Otherwise, it makes me saddy sad. That is correct. So Rex is going to yell one at you, and then I'm going to scream the other one at you, and then we're going to move on.
5-star review by The Stuffed Rabbit titled Best Buffy Podcast with count 'em, 2 exclamation points.
Oh my, I'm noticing a theme.
Yes. For a true review of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you should come here. With the best insight and the most slightly inappropriate comedy, Beer with Buffy
I take offense to that.
No, you don't. Beer with Buffy gets down deep into it and feels like something I'd love to write for my composition classes in the ways it analyzes the smallest of details.
Ooh, they sound smart.
Oh, god damn it.
I was hoping you'd pick that one.
I didn't read it all the way through before I did.
Say it. Say it.
Irregardless of how you feel about Buffy or Angel, Rex and Josh bring great conversation and funnies to the table.
Damn right.
And then the footnote here. Also, after listening to Beer with Buffy 512, Passions was a real show. I hate to be that person. I'm mean, but truly, I love you guys and the show you make. Yes, this is not the first time that it has been pointed out to me that Passions is in fact a real show, and I was wrong.
And you owe everybody a goddamn apology.
It's not like I fucking forgot that Star Wars existed or some shit like that. Like,
That's not the issue, Rex. The issue is you were so sure of yourself. And I just assumed that you, do research about things that you're sure about.
The trick is to be perfectly comfortable admitting when you're wrong. And you can be as confident as you want about the thing that you're saying, as long as afterwards you admit you're wrong. And I admit I was wrong. Passions was a real show. I looked it up after the fact. I apologize. That being said...
Oh my god. No, there should be no that being said after this.
No, that being said, I didn't actually fucking watch TV during the time frame that Passions existed. I didn't watch TV during the time that Buffy was really on the air.
In his defense, you guys, he didn't watch TV at the time.
I didn't.
So, Irregardless, Rex.
Anyway,
just leave it at the apology.
read the other review.
Just leave it
Read
at the
the other
apology. Anyway, so the next the next review is entitled Good Stuff, 5-star review by I'm Feeling Sublime. And it goes like this. Just started listening a couple of weeks ago, and I'm loving the episodes. You guys are hilarious, and I like your episode breakdowns. And the mom synopsis is always so weird, they crack me up. Fingers crossed you don't go on one of your review famous sabbaticals soon. Yeah, fingers crossed. Definitely.
Yeah. The current schedule works. The current schedule works well.
Yeah, it's all right. We're hoping we can up the pace again sooner than later, but right now, every other week is the best we can do. Also, for our review drive, we announced a couple of episodes ago, or one episode ago, I don't remember, relatively recently, that somebody had won the grand prize
Of a Beer with Buffy hoodie.
of a Beer with Buffy hoodie, and you have exactly one more episode cycle to claim that prize, or it's going to go on to somebody else again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up your name right now. Karen Hart Joe. Karen Hart Joe, if you are still listening, claim your hoodie. All right, moving on.
Oh, by the way, you that have reviewed us, get in touch with us via email or Facebook or Twitter direct message, and we can get you stickers.
Yeah, new reviews get free stickers. Next order of business, we have a cat naming tier.
We, in fact, have a cat naming tier.
And a longtime Patreon supporter of us, C in quotes heaps, and personal friend of ours, has decided to claim their reward. As such, we have a cat name for their cat, who already has 2 names.
Yes.
But just to give you a quick description, this cat they acquired through a friend of theirs who needed help fostering their cats while they were in limbo for housing things, and they ended up keeping one of the 3 cats that they were fostering because C's spouse, Mary, bonded with it a lot, and they didn't like her original name, Katie Cat, which is a cute pun, but we all kind of agree it's a terrible name. It's a stupid pun. It's cute, but it's stupid. And the other working name that they currently have, but obviously they're not entirely happy with, is Sojourner Truth. So the cat, when they originally received her, she was so scared and skittish and ran downstairs and hid behind a wall. And Mary had to go down there and make soothing, comforting, cooing noises at her and type stuff to get her to come out of the wall. And the only person she would come out for was for Mary. And now they are like best friends, and Mary loves this cat, and she wasn't a cat person prior to.
Yeah, the previous owner came back to claim the cats, but could only take 2 back of the 3, and so they kept this cat, and once this cat had no other cats around, they just blossomed into this very outgoing and affectionate cat.
Yeah, she's a lovely cat. She's a black cat. I love black cats. I have a black cat. His name is Mickey. They get such a bad rap, and
They do.
And it's so dangerous to let them be outside on Halloween because people are assholes.
Yeah.
But lots of black cats in folklore and historical stuff, and lots of fun things we can do here. So we're going to see what me and Rex came up with, and then we're going to settle the debate like fucking gentlemen.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Do you want to go first, Rex?
I have one name. It took a lot of work to get to this name. The name is Dame Daphne du Meowray.
Meowray. Okay, you want to break that down?
So Dame Daphne du Marais, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's French. The point is, she's a very well-known author because most people have definitely heard of her works, but they don't know they've heard of her works because she's been highly overshadowed by other individuals. And I thought that was appropriate because this cat, before when the other cats were there, was very overshadowed and kind of off and skittish because the other cats were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was appropriate because Daphne wrote some pieces of literature that you have heard of. Rebecca, The Birds.
Oh, The Birds.
Jamaica Inn, Frenchman's Creek, Hungry Hill, My Cousin Rachel. Those are all novels of hers that were made into films.
Okay.
I I think 2 of these, Rebecca and the Birds, were Hitchcock, and he had a 3rd script adaptation from one of her books. But yeah, she wrote...
So the author's name is Daphne du Maurier, and the cat name is Daphne du Maurier.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the whole name.
Yes.
Okay.
But she also wrote a lot of, like, dark fiction. Black cat, dark fiction.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything particularly complicated or clever from this one, but one thing that came to mind from, well, I'll explain it in a moment, but the name that came to mind is Kisa, Kisa. It is kitten in Japanese. And let me take a moment to explain that, because it seems really simple, but this character is from Fruits Basket.
I knew you were going to say Fruits Basket.
Yeah, an anime, and before it was an anime, it was a, what do you call those? Manga. It was a manga. I haven't read the manga, but I'm a fan of both of the animes, the original and the remake. So she is an extraordinarily shy character who slowly becomes extremely affectionate to her favorite person, which is Toru Honda, the main character of the show, because she understands her and treats her with respect that she never got from her own family. And I think it's just too fucking fitting. Also, there's this thing in the plot of Fruits Basket where this whole family, the Somas, they turn into animals when hugged by a member of the opposite sex. But they specifically turn into members of the Chinese zodiac. And Kisa turns into a tiger.
Oh.
And so she's already a cat. And she's not a black cat, so she doesn't turn into a panther, but fucking close enough.
That's not bad.
An honorable mention, I had a second name, but I feel like it's forced, but I want to throw it out there anyway. It's possible you'll like it better. Is Dr. Wednesday, the Gothic House Panther. Because I like Wednesday Addams, from the Addams family, of course, who's another misunderstood, very dark character who becomes very affectionate to those she deems worthy, as seen in Addams Family 2, Addams Family Values.
It's been so long since I've seen that. I don't remember
I just watched it on Hulu before they got rid of it. It was, oh my God, so much funnier as an adult than it was as a kid.
I'm not
30
surprised.
years later,
I'm not
it's
surprised.
actually fucking hilarious. Anyway, that's why Wednesday, and also Doctor, because even though you adopted her, she's inevitably the one who saved you. Duh, isn't that fucking special?
And what was the first name again?
Kisa.
Kisa.
Japanese for kitten.
I like Kisa.
I do too.
It's
And she's such a sweet character.
yeah.
It's
And
very fitting.
It's a very sweet sounding name.
It is.
I think I have to go with yours.
Neat. All right. I'm not going to argue with that. I think yours was clever, but I think Kisa, it's an all-round, like, I always think, what do you want to call out the door publicly if you're calling this cat? Here, Kisa, 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 Kisa.
Yeah, that really works.
Yeah, and it sounds like kiss a little bit. So that's fun.
No, it's a very sweet sounding name for a very sweet cat.
Say your name one more time for me.
Dame Daphne du Maurier.
Oh, there was a dame on the front of it. I
Yes,
forgot about that.
yes.
Did you explain that dame?
Oh, no, I
is-
did not explain it. So I learned that dame is the female equivalent of a knight.
Huh.
I did not know that previously.
I did not know that either.
You know, that changes a lot of like
Yeah, it just made me think of guys and dolls.
yeah.
Guys and dolls. Oh yes, we're just a bunch of crazy guys and dolls. Those are actually the Simpsons lyrics that are actually nowhere in Guys and Dolls.
So are you voting for your name?
Yes, I'm voting for
Okay.
Kisa.
Kisa wins.
'Cause
there you go. C and Mary. Your cat's name is now Kisa.
Yep, we settled it like fucking gentlemen. You're welcome.
And whether you actually select it or not, I'll probably still call your cat that.
Exactly. That is correct.
Hey, we're on to the mom synopsis.
Brilliant! Whose idea was that? Oh, right. It was mine, originally. Joshua! What are you doing, Joshua? Trying not to let the existential dread sink in, Ma. Oh, that's good, Joshua. Don't let it sink in. Yeah, that's what I just said I'm trying to do. Well, don't let it happen, Joshua. I'm telling you, that's bad. I fucking know, Mom. If you say so, honey, I'll leave you to it then. Mom, is everyone out to get me? I'd be lying if I said no, Joshua. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Who are you? Where am I? Oh, hush, Joshua. Don't be so dramatic. How can I not be dramatic when reality is crumbling in front of my very eyes? Oh, Joshua, that's just absurd. Joshua! What are you doing, Joshua? Dad!
Oh, God.
You were Mom just now and you morphed into Dad, but I thought I murdered you on Christmas. You stupid bastard. You can't kill me. Me and your mom are the same person. That makes no fucking sense, Dad. Yeah, the sex was the hardest part. Don't get me started on the birthing process. Wait, what about that one time you were in the room together at the same time? Shut up! I'm here to warn you. Your mother isn't just a psychotic, neglectful narcissist. She's also a god from hell, and she's coming for you. Oh no, that's terrible. She's already insufferable. You know what, Joshua? You're an all right kid. Daddy, all I ever wanted was your validation and approval. Shut up, loser. Don't tell anybody. Uh-oh. And then he said, I am the key master. Are you the gatekeeper? And so I just paid for the custard and left because that's just inappropriate. Cool story, Mom. I think all my existential dread is melted away. I'm gonna go over here now. Because today on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy seems to think it's a great idea to tell the Scoobies all about Dawn being the key now, and they all start acting super weird about it, so Dawn gets even more suspicious than she already was, and breaks into the magic shop with Spike and reads Giles's notes, and completely figures everything out. The next day, after misunderstanding yet another overheard conversation, Dawn runs away, forcing the Scoobies to comb the city to find her, and they all converge at the hospital, where Dawn finds Ben in the mental ward and confides in him about her traumatic existential discovery. And Ben immediately knows she's the key and freaks out because, spoiler alert, Ben is Glory. Glory is Ben. And he promptly morphs into Glory. But it's more of a brother-sister Jekyll-Hyde situation than a same-person kind of ordeal. So Buffy tracks down Glory by overhearing something about a dead security guard, and her and Glory fight. This time with the whole Scooby Gang backing her. Tara and Willow teleport her into the sky, Buffy and Dawn have a beautiful bonding moment, and fuck off home. Because Joyce is worried. The end.
God damn, that's way more succinct than the episode felt.
Right? Yeah, then there's some shit about the Knights of Byzantium.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Ladies, gentlemen, spiny-headed looking creatures. Soon as the sun goes down, soon as the sun goes down, vampire. Competition is a beautiful thing.
Cold open.
We open at the magic box where the Scoobies are... I imagine this is like the same night after the Watchers Council left, but the Scoobies are talking about Buffy's birthday coming up, and Buffy's like, no, like, we need to talk about Glory.
Yeah, it's a distraction. She's got a god to kill.
Yeah.
Willow argues the contrary, because Buffy deserves a distraction because she's fighting a god.
And you know, that honestly, I back that idea.
I absolutely do as well. Tomato, potato. So, yeah, Willow's actual line is, well, you know what they say, the bigger they are. And this is the two sides of the argument right here, succinctly between Willow and Anya. Well, you know what they say, the bigger they are, Anya replies, the faster they stomp you into nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the two sides of the argument. Do you want to have cake, or do you want to get face stomped into the fucking ground? Why not both? Why not?
I choose cake.
I choose both.
I choose cake.
Also cake.
I don't want to be face stomped into the
sorry.
ground.
I meant, do you want to not get your face stomped into the ground?
I would like to not get my... Yes, I choose both.
But also cake, yes.
Can I have my cake and not be stomped into the ground?
Sure. All you have to do is take a picture of it.
It
Wait,
doesn't roll off the tongue as well as have your cake and eat it, too.
Yeah, I think I misunderstood the question. It's okay. So... This launches Giles into explaining that Glory and her two fellow hell gods used to rule over one of the more unpleasant demon dimensions. Yeah, that's right. There's thousands of them, apparently. And her human form is limiting her powers, hence no fancy lightning bolts or special powers per se. All we know is she's immortal, invulnerable, and insane.
Yeah. You know, this is, of course, when the Scoobies start going, hey, how about we figure out what the fuck this key thing is, and we find the key, and hey, we should look at what about this key, the thing that Glory definitely wants, and we don't know anything about.
Oh, guess what? We already know exactly what and where the key is. They don't know what it's for, but that doesn't stop them from getting a whole lot of heat from the Scooby Gang at large.
And, you know, eventually she actually comes clean, and she tells them about Dawn.
Yeah. So shit just got stepped up a notch here. Now the entire Scooby Gang knows this potentially world-threatening secret of theirs.
I also feel, though, that, like, Buffy did not really press into them the importance of, like, acting normal about this thing.
Well, this was one of those off-camera things that we didn't really get to see her explanation or how she pressed that into them, if at all. And irregardless of that even, I completely take issue with this and the rest of this whole episode, except for the fact that this was where the writers' team simply wanted to take it.
Yeah.
And it caused the proper amount of drama. Woo, yay. Other than that, logically, I completely take issue with this because I don't think tactically that it's any fucking better for the Scoobies to know than it was before. So what if they're risking their lives? They're risking their lives more now by knowing the details.
Yep.
And they're risking Dawn and the fucking world. Only one of them has to get captured and tortured now. Before it was Buffy, Giles, Joyce, which was too many, frankly.
Yes.
And now there's 4 or 5 more that know.
I mean, the whole group.
Willow, Tara,
Anya,
Xander,
Spike.
By the end of the episode.
And Dawn.
So that's 6 total more. They only have to capture one.
And Ben.
And Ben, who is Glory. God damn it. Which, somebody spoiled that for me a few episodes ago, and it's been very difficult not to say anything about it.
I knew it the whole time because I remembered it.
I didn't remember that at all, but whatever. Shit happens. Anyway,
I don't remember the mechanism behind it, though. From there, we cut to a random place in the fucking wilderness where...
I think it was one of the graveyards, because we know there's like 12 of them.
Yeah. But it's the Knights of Byzantium,
I think.
Whatever. I wrote it down later.
Pick a pronunciation and run with it. It's fine.
Yeah, anyway, the Knights
are
all there.
If there's one thing we've learned, Rex, it's that people love to interact with us when we're wrong.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the Knights are there, and they're kind of, they're a bit culty.
They're
doing a bit ritualistic culty stuff.
Yeah, they're chanting some stuff about God's will be done, break the link, etc. Yada. You are the weakest link. I'm so sorry for that.
You ought to be. You really ought to be.
I am ashamed of myself. And so Jinx shows up.
Yep, Jinx shows up.
Jinx is kind of a badass. I mean,
he doesn't do a whole lot.
I still think either him or Dreg could easily be throttled by a toddler, but that didn't stop him from taking on an entire squad of the Knights of Byzantium. And
well, I mean, there were other minions aside from Jinx, though. There were 2 or 3 others that died
in this fight.
Yeah,
I didn't see any. I only saw Jinx.
There were multiple minions. The other ones were unnamed. Unknown.
Were they demons?
No, they were just like Jinx.
Just like him.
But
I watched it several times and I did not see anybody else in there besides Jinx.
There was more than one.
I'll take your word for it.
I could be wrong, but I remember there being more than one. I specifically wrote down minions plural.
Okay. See, that's why I went back and watched it, because I was like, wait, was Dreg there?
But yeah, Jinx is about to die.
He gets himself some medieval ninja action.
Glory saves him.
Yeah, he nearly loses very quickly because these Knights of Byzantium are not nearly as badass as I thought they were. That being said, I mean, we've never really seen Jinx or Drag or any of these minions do anything vaguely useful other than be blithering idiots and sniveling little yes men. But honestly, this fight scene is a bit wishy-washy anyway, and you can't really tell how the fuck Jinx takes down as many as he does, unless you are right and there are in fact multiples. But there's 3 of them left by the time he's disarmed and helpless. At which point, Glory steps in.
Yep.
Before he gets stabbed in the face, and she makes mincemeat out of them mouses. And oh my god, the whole most of this fight, one of the knights is doing the stupid trope where he's crawling for his sword really slowly because he lost it very early in the fight. While she's fighting these other dudes, he's going for his sword, but she gets to it first. Surprise.
Her line is fucking ridiculously dumb too.
Yeah, it's cheesy.
Nice sword, bet it hurts.
Yeah, exactly. And we find out later that this is Orlando. This is the same guy that Buffy straddled briefly the first time we saw the Knights of Byzantium. And his name is Orlando, and Glory kidnaps him, but we technically don't know that yet.
Right. Opening credits.
Yeah. Hey, Rex.
Hey, what?
I have a surprise for you.
Oh, no. Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh my god. What the fuck?
JJ Treadway is a very talented man. That cost me $30. Best $30 I ever spent.
Wow.
Did that annoy you as much as I wanted it to?
It was annoying, but not nearly as annoying as you doing it.
Oh, well, it was fun anyway. Oh my god. I'm going to put that shit up on YouTube and TikTok and whatever.
There's a ringtone.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Anyway, so there's your opening sequence, everybody. Hopefully we don't get sued.
No, that's an original work. Because it's parody.
I like to think so. Even Weird Al has to get permission.
No, he doesn't. Not legally.
Okay, he does anyway.
Because he does it because that's the professional thing to do.
But legally, he
doesn't have to because he is using very similar music, but not the exact same music. Like him and his band create the music, and he writes new lyrics. So it's considered an original work.
Generally, they own the master track, but you can't copyright the notes themselves. I don't know. Anyway, we're not copyright lawyers, but sure, I'll take Rex's word for it. Cut to the magic box exterior.
Yes, where Tara and Willa are doing a spell.
Like they do.
Specifically, they are doing a level 1 abjuration spell.
Is that what they called it?
Yeah, well, the spell Alarm.
It's basically a perimeter alarm, yeah.
In D&D is a level 1 abjuration spell.
Oh, neat.
And it is a level 1 abjuration spell in every form of D&D that exists.
Splendid. So Dawn approaches, and we must now keep in mind that the entire Scooby Gang is now completely appraised of Dawn's status as a celestial ball of energy turned human with superimposed history. And by the way, they're all super fucking stupid about it. Like, they couldn't possibly act more guilty and awkward towards her. She's like, hey, can I help? And they're like, ooh, I don't know how Buffy'd feel about that. And she's like, all right, whatever, and walks away.
I mean, that's kind of par for the course of, normal...
I mean, normally Willow and Tara are pretty supportive. And, hey, Dawn, we love Dawn. But, yeah. Regardless of all that, Dawn walks away towards the magic shop, and before she even gets inside, Tara whispers, how can she not be real? And I'm like, oh my god.
Right.
Let her get out of earshot first.
Yeah.
But
Put a
whatever.
fucking door between you first.
Seriously. I can't imagine why she's so suspicious.
Yeah, and then, of course, she walks inside, and immediately Anya and Xander they're really fucking it up.
They're just as bad, if not 10 times worse.
Anya's definitely the worst.
Oh, absolutely.
But
you make a very pretty little girl.
yeah, Xander is very much overcompensating with his, like, nicey nice, I'm the fun uncle kind of
I'm gonna
shtick.
get you, and
Yeah.
tickles her, and like, we've never seen him tickle her before. So yeah, definitely with the overcompensating. But she seems to enjoy the positive attention, but Anya just completely fucks it up right off the bat. She blurts out, "You make a very pretty little girl," which luckily can be chalked up easily to Anya being Anya
Yeah.
for the moment, but that doesn't last. Xander drags her away, saying, "I need help with a thing." Xander needs help with his thing. And I'm like, yeah, I bet he does. Oh, God. Yeah, his penis, right? Who knows?
Yeah. Basically, Dawn just kind of rolls her eyes at it.
Yeah. Xander does make a habit of getting diseases from Shumash tribe, so... All right, maybe just the ones. Anyways, Buffy...
Xander's penis getting diseases from the Shumash tribe.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Xander, but it's specifically his penis.
Well, specifically his penis. Xander has nothing to do with his penis, as we all know.
I mean, they're barely acquainted because, like, he cannot control it.
He definitely can only think with one at a time. That is
Yes.
for sure.
Xander and Xander's penis have a very Glory Ben relationship.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Once one's in the room, the other one's nowhere to be seen.
Gone. Totally gone. Just like my mom and dad. Yeah. Except for that one time. But we don't talk about that.
Well, this guy wants to fight with weapons. I've got it covered from A to Z. From axe to the other axe.
I'm fairly certain I said no interruptions.
As Buffy and Giles debate over whether Buffy's training should be more challenging, the conversation with Dawn shifts to them instead of the other Scoobies real quick. And I have a quote of the day out of the gate here.
Oh, I bet I know what it was.
Buffy says, how was school today? The usual. Big square building filled with boredom and despair.
Yeah.
That was your guess?
Yeah.
There it is.
I wrote it down as well. And Dawn, I regret to inform you, that's just capitalism.
Right? Yeah. You're learning how to be compliant.
Yes.
Congratulations. Please proceed to
Welcome-
the next corridor.
Welcome to consumerhood.
At the end, there's cake. Spoiler alert, there is no cake.
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yeah, school's not designed to teach you things. It's meant to hold you captive and indoctrinate you into the ways of capitalism. So during a minor verbal sparring with Buffy, Dawn notices Giles hides some books in a drawer while operating the cash register.
She doesn't notice that he hides the books. She notices that the books are there, and then when she looks back, they're gone.
They're gone, yes.
That's a specific note because that she uses that clue to figure out where they are.
That
later.
is correct, but I think she parses two and two together.
Yeah.
So Dawn digs for information about Glory. She knows they're hiding something from her, and it's got something to do with Glory, and she's right. So, of course,
It does.
Taking digs at Buffy is the main course of action. Dawn asks for help with her homework. Buffy says maybe later. Dawn guesses at it being related to Glory, which Buffy denies, and Dawn therefore lashes out with, "I just think you're freaking out because you have to fight someone prettier than you." That is the case, right?
Yeah.
I find this entirely appropriate because now that I think about it, Rex, I'm always like, God, why is Dawn so fucking mean? She's such a mean little girl. But then I realize, oh, right. She's pissed because they're all constantly lying to her and excluding her.
Yeah.
And she's right about it.
Oh, yeah.
And they lie to her about her being right about it.
Yeah.
And act like she's just being immature. Which would make me pretty fucking mean, too.
Oh, yeah. Like, they constantly gaslighting the shit out of Dawn.
Yes, exactly. Shit, I didn't even put two and two together. That is gaslighting.
It is.
God damn it.
It is.
Oh, man, I'm so happy about that because that means I intrinsically hate gaslighting. Not just because you've labeled it as gaslighting.
Yeah.
Neat. Cut to Glory's apartment / mansion or wherever the fuck she is.
Penthouse, castle.
Yeah.
Something like
I
that.
can never tell if it's the same place or if she's in a different place, whatever. Probably still in that castle, penthouse, whatever.
She's torturing the knight. He doesn't want to tell her. Even if he knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 blah. She can't get any information out of him. She makes some jokes about him not getting laid and then takes his mental cohesiveness and he goes crazy.
Yeah, she almost tries to seduce him and then says, fuck it, I'm just going to eat your brain. But we're not unreasonable. I mean, no one's going to eat your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's almost May.
Fucking outside?
Yeah.
Hey! There it is. Cut to Buffy's house. And if you're getting all these references, good for you.
That's my favorite Colton song, by the way.
Anyway, cut to Buffy's house.
Where it's birthday time.
Happy birthday.
How appropriate. It was just my birthday very recently.
Yeah, what a coinkydink. Anya covets Buffy's presents. Giles does not, because he's got a top just like that one.
This was actually one of my quotes of the day. In reference to the clothing that Buffy got, Anya says, "It's so lovely, I wish it was mine." And then everyone, of course, looks at her, and she's like, "Oh, you weren't all thinking the same thing." And then the quote is, "Giles, I'm fairly certain I wasn't." And then he leans over, covertly says to Xander, "I've got one just like it."
I love it when Giles makes those little side remarks. Well, he does have a sense of humor.
Yeah, but it also, especially in this kind of moment, this makes him feel much more part of the Scoobies, not over.
Yeah,
or
so a lot of times he's punching back against their quippiness, not joining in.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see Giles joining in. I agree.
I think one of my favorite aspects of the subtle changes of the show as you go further into the show is how Giles goes from being this mentor leader to just part of the group, kind of side by side with Buffy, and then eventually Buffy is the boss, and he just follows suit. And this, little moments like these just kind of lean into that.
Absolutely. Foreshadowing or character growth. Definitely.
Yeah, character development.
Definitely. And so Dawn gives Buffy, for her birthday present, a picture of her and her dad at the beach.
I teared up a little bit.
It's a very emotional moment.
Yeah.
Buffy gets all misty-eyed over it, and Dawn's like, "Geez, you guys, I just couldn't afford a real present." But Buffy really appreciates it.
It's also, though, a really good sentimental gift. A picture of you and your sister, and then you decorated the frame with shells that you both gathered on that trip. That's an excellent fucking gift when you have no money.
And add on to that, I'm not sure it would have hit Buffy the same, but she's struggling with this whole knowledge that Dawn is a mystically recently created fabrication of a sister. And this episode, this is leaning into the transitional moment where Buffy and the rest of the Scoobies make the conscious decision that they are choosing Dawn as family.
Exactly.
Regardless of her origins, and that they love her anyway, and they want to canonically keep these technically false memories, but they're real enough, so why not?
Yeah, and honestly, pin in that specific topic, because later on there's a point where I really want to go into that.
Yeah.
For a very specific reason.
Yeah, so it's a lovely moment. Lots of character development, all wrapped up in this one little moment. And we cut to the kitchen.
Yeah,
where,
a little bit later in the evening, I'm guessing.
Not too much later. It feels like half an hour.
Right. Yeah, because, they haven't had cake yet.
Right, exactly. So Joyce speaks, in my opinion, overly frankly and carelessly about Dawn like a fucking idiot. And honestly, her question isn't even something I can imagine someone as motherly as Joyce asking about her own daughter, even with her knowledge of who and what Dawn is.
Yeah, how was that worded? I recalled what she said.
The actual line is, she's talking to Buffy and she says, "It still seems to me like there's a lot you don't know about this. I mean, is she dangerous? Come on. Joyce is well past that.
Right. She ought to be.
She does
She
not
damn
think
well ought to be.
She does not believe in any way that Dawn is dangerous. This was a forced line by the writers or showrunner, director, whoever. Somebody forced this, and I don't like it. So Buffy sees Dawn looking towards them from the living room, obviously noticing that they're muttering in hushed tones about her still. And
she doesn't know it's about her yet.
But
she's got strong fucking suspicions.
And they are warranted.
Yeah.
But she needs plates for cake, so that's her excuse. And
cake.
She gets them from Buffy and delivers them to the living room, where she again catches Willow, Tara, and Xander and Anya acting super extra fucking awkward the second she walks in.
And this is where everyone oversteers out their ass.
Oh, yeah. She's like, why are you all acting so weird? Xander, me? Me not weird? Oh, well done.
Yeah.
So good, the slow clapper's still working.
Excellent. I don't know what we'd do if that broke. We'd have to use the fast clapper, and that just doesn't have the same effect.
Definitely not the same effect. No.
At best, the fast clapper, we could like turn it on and off.
Yeah, you can maybe turn some lights on and off with it remotely. So Dawn's had enough, and she blows up at the whole room for lying through their teeth at her for like literally her entire life of 6 months. So she stomps up to her room to make sure that she's not exposed to like, you know, words and stuff.
Here's the biggest problem I have with this moment is that Xander, Anya, and Willow and Tara are all kind of acting weird, and Dawn's calling them out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is when Buffy, Giles, and Joyce come back into the room. Dawn is notably upset, and obviously everyone fucking knows precisely why she's upset. And Buffy redirects the conversation, but not in any way that like feels right.
I feel like they could have so easily sat her down and explained to her, we know something and we want you to know. This would have been
exactly the right time.
Yeah. There's nothing to be afraid of. You're safer not knowing. You're not crazy. That's the key. Yep. Ironically, that's the key. She needs to know that she's not crazy.
Exactly.
She is noticing something, and she's right to question it, but we cannot tell you for your own safety. We will tell you in good time. I'm sorry.
I find that a lot of TV shows have this problem of like failing to be able to allow characters to know half measure. Where like
they could have made something up that made equally as much sense. Tell her she's adopted or something. Tell her okay, maybe that's irresponsible too. I don't know.
No, I don't even think that it would need to be discussed further than, look, you're not crazy. Something is up, but it's a big problem with Glory right now, and it's very dangerous. We want to tell you, but it makes you a target by knowing it. And like there's never a point where it seems that Buffy adequately presses to Dawn that it's like, I'm not trying to protect you and baby you. I'm trying to protect you because you're a person and I have superpowers.
That distinction needs to get made.
Yeah. And like, no one fucking makes it. No one fucking
You're not
makes
in
it.
a normal situation. You're not being babied. That would have helped. However, none of that is conducive to quickly generating drama. And boy, is this show a drama machine, and they got the job done. So I guess I'll just kind of sort of accept the means to the end here.
And yeah, you know, as much as I hate what they chose to do or how they chose to take the next step, I like the next step.
I'm not in your room. I'm in the hallway. The hallway doesn't belong to you. Mom, I could stand in the hallway, right? My friend Sharon's older brother knows a girl who died because she choked on her boyfriend's tongue.
So Dawn storms upstairs, slams her door, and then promptly sneaks out and immediately runs into Spike.
Yes, Dawn escapes her suburban nightmare hellscape for a brief moment, and Spike is there. It's an instant improvement.
It is. It is.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's particularly instant improvement, I think, because like the dynamic these two characters have,
It's fun.
it's fucking excellent.
Yeah. I mean, she only looks like a 14-year-old girl, but she's actually this ethereal ball of power. And she kind of actually starts acting like it completely unknowingly here.
Right.
She's like, fuck you, I have power over you. Quote of the day. Dawn says, geez, lurk much? Spike responds, I wasn't lurking. I was standing about. It's a whole different vibe.
That was one of my quotes of the day.
Yeah, it's
a
good.
It's a good line.
It's so Spike. Spike! Spike!
But my favorite part about that line is that he, in that line, perfectly illustrates the difference between him and Angel as characters. He's not lurky, and Angel's a lurky boy.
He is a lurky boy. Who's a lurky boy. Oh my God. Write that one down for the musical episode.
I will not.
So it really only takes a small amount of being laughed at by a 14-year-old girl for an immortal badass to succumb to peer pressure, it turns out.
Yeah.
And Spike was just being a good little stalker and trying to give Buffy a dilapidated box of chocolates so that he could be humiliated and rejected a little more because, hey, we don't kink shame here at Beer with Buffy. So this is brilliant. All it takes is some mild playground antics, and she's got Spike bodyguarding and breaking and entering for her. I mean, all she had to do was ask, and she did.
Exactly.
But I think it helped that she didn't flinch at him and then claimed to be his better. I think he's a sucker for that kind of thing.
I think he just liked being directly invited to go do something.
Right.
Like, think of how fucking lonely he must be. Like,
let's all empathize with the completely abusive douchebag, but still,
but
though,
like,
yeah.
I mean, he's a fucking evil vampire who's happened to just be neutered.
But yeah,
that's it.
He's been completely separated from his former lifestyle.
Exactly. He has,
and we're seeing real evidence of change because of that.
Yeah.
Like, we were hesitant to say it at first. Like, no, he is actually the worst, and he's still evil. He's just neutered.
Yeah.
But that's not to... There's no reason that can't cause real change. This doesn't make him a good match or a good person or not toxic and not abusive, but he is legitimately changing due to the chip in his head.
Pretty much all the moments... So the last few episodes, the moments that we've gotten with Spike were really cringy. The last like handful of scenes that we've gotten with Spike.
He was what's that word for hitting on a girl by being mean to her? Negging.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of negging, and
exactly.
There's probably been gaslighting in there, and
this is the first time where we get scenes with Spike interacting with other characters that he actually genuinely feels there could be a chance he can come around someday. Like,
right.
You know, he joins this adventure with Dawn, and like the dynamic between the two characters is fantastic.
She makes a wonderful argument here that she's badder than he is because she's breaking out, she's sneaking out of the house to break and enter and steal classified information, whereas all he's trying to do is give a broken box of chocolates to an unrequited love.
Also, he can't hurt anyone.
And he can't hurt anyone, but he's still trying to be threatening towards her.
Yeah.
And she knows that he's completely unable physically to do anything to her. So she truly is in the position of power, and that's hilarious. Not hilarious. That's a really shitty way to put it for feminism. I'm holding feminism back by phrasing it that way. Help me.
I would say it's
feminist. It is a feminist moment out of a 20-plus-some-year-old TV show that still juxtaposes a young woman into a position of power over an established, powerful male character, and that is something to be applauded.
Yeah.
That's how that's what I meant.
Excellent.
All right. Moving on.
From there, we go to the magic shop.
Magic box. Again.
Yes.
It's not like we haven't been there. So.
Where Spike is picking a lock. Mm-hmm. I like his little, like, it wasn't quite quote of the day, but I like his little bit here when Dawn is like impatient that it's taking him a while to pick the lock.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like, well, usually I just bust through them.
Right? He kind of needs to leave less evidence of break-in this time around. And it's not the first time he's broken into this magic shop.
No.
Just maybe the first time under this ownership.
Yes.
And she finds the notes in the book that Giles put away super fast, almost with celerity, frankly. Speaking of celerity, there's a note I wanted to make about that. You remember the last episode of Angel where we're like...
Unfortunately.
Well, this is 1 point for that episode that we didn't give it. That I wanted to make a quick correction. When he was in the backseat of the car with Lila, and we were like, how did you not notice an adult male in your back seat? But then he leaves with celerity so fast that the back door doesn't even open. Well, how the fuck do you think he got in without her noticing?
Well, that's a valid point.
It's fucking celerity.
I don't know. I think it would have been more hilarious if he was just like leaned down over.
That is funnier. But canonically, I think it makes perfect sense that he got in with celerity because he got out with celerity.
It just, like, the whole idea makes me think of this really, like, one of my favorite pokes at Batman is this short comic. I can't remember who the hell drew it. It wasn't like an official comic, mind you. It was just like a web comic that showed Batman and Gordon talking to each other, and Gordon turns around and Batman's gone. But then you see him like hiding behind a desk.
the little cartoon parody.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny
because it's hilarious and it's probably accurate,
right? Because he's human. He can't have celerity.
Exactly.
Fuck him. Fuck Batman. No, I like Batman. He's fun. He's an idiot billionaire. It's really fun. So yeah, I know it's not as fun to unpoke holes in Angel. Angel is really just our punching bag at this point, but credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dawn reads Giles' notes, and in the span of like a minute and 30 seconds, she and Spike parse out that she is the key. SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Oh, well, life goes on.
Because the line is basically, it's talking about people outside reality can see the key's true nature and all this, and she starts realizing that crazy people have been acting weird around her.
Yes, I really like that they pull back from foreshadowing moments, especially the crazy people pointing at her and going, "You don't exist," or something. And that was basically, and there was something else other than the monks brought her to the Slayer, brought the key to the Slayer in the form of a sister. Well, that's kind of a dead giveaway.
Right.
But the lead up, it all was very believable, I thought.
I liked how they put it together, because you ever read a book and...
I don't read books. You know I don't read.
You ever read a book and you're like, you're following along and you essentially figure out the twist like a half a page before they reveal the twist. And like you manage to like put all the pieces together right before it's revealed. That is exceptionally satisfying.
Yeah.
And
that was Westworld for me, the first season. I watch more TV than I read books. I do read sometimes.
Climax of the second Mistborn book. That happened with me is I figured it out like the page before.
Mistborn climax. Yes.
Anyway, they do a really good depiction of that. Not that this is a pleasurable experience of figuring it out right before you're told, but you know.
But it's a good lead-in. I thought it was a good reveal, regardless of all the other shit that's going on with this episode that I disagree with. It's a reveal.
Dracula. Fancy bugger owes me £11 for one thing. I don't find a few demons after me these days. It's blood! It's what I do!
Cut to Buffy's house. Buffy laments not getting so much as a shitty greeting card from Riley.
Yep, Willow, Tara, and Buffy fail the Bechdel test.
Boy, they sure do. I didn't even think about that. You're not wrong. I'm like, why would you get a fucking card from him,
Right.
Buffy? Why would you want to at this point? Ew.
My favorite bit here, though, is like, she's like, you know what? Let's start a tradition. Birthdays without boyfriends. And Willow's like, hey, you know.
Beat you to it. Hey-oh. Lesbians. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Hey, Riley's gone and they don't have to pay him anymore. So
Yes.
everybody wins. And that means we can have Spike in every episode now. Tara, as they're talking about Riley and failing the Bechdel test, gets a horrific look on her face as she sees something over Buffy's shoulder.
Momentary pause here. Just a content warning, trigger warning here of self-harm, because we're going to have to talk a little bit about that.
A little bit
and,
about self-harm.
Just want you all to be prepared.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's in the It's in the actual episode. If you're actually watching the episodes before you watch this, you'll know. Some people watch the episodes after. So anyway, as far as moments in dramatic or even horror genre go, I have to say the look on Tara's face filled me with dread.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was about to see, but I knew something fucked up was just behind Buffy in this moment. Well, holy shit, I applaud Amber Benson's acting in this moment.
Not just hers. Michelle Trachtenberg.
Oh, yeah.
Like, holy shit. She sold this.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, she sold. Dude, I'm getting fucking goosebumps just talking about the scene,
Sure.
for fuck's sake.
And
it
I mean,
was intense.
But that one moment where Tara just gets wide-eyed and slack-jawed was the equivalent times 50 of cresting the top of a roller coaster that you didn't know you were on.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's nothing. There's absolutely fucking nothing to prepare you for this.
Yeah.
It is a hell of a fucking twist, because at this point, like, in your head, you're thinking timeline-wise, she's still at the magic shop.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't quite, it doesn't click that, oh, she must have had time to get back home. Because, like, she's standing there, a cut down her arm, a knife in her hand. Her line here, I wrote down her entire line, kind of cutting out what Buffy and Joyce say, because it's just fucking intense. Because she says, "Is this blood? This is blood, isn't it? It can't be me. I'm not a key. I'm not a thing. What am I? Am I real? Am I anything?"
Yeah, that's a hell of an existential crisis right there.
Especially for a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, party's over, everyone. Don't gotta go home, but you sure as shit can't stay here.
Yeah.
So, nope, not even you, Giles. Fuck off. I don't recall her discovery of what she is. I don't recall Dawn's discovery of what she is being quite so dramatic and gruesome.
Right?
But damn, I gotta say, well fucking done on the writer's part.
I did not remember this at all.
Yeah.
I had to pause it and take a moment.
And this really, like I said, means to an end. This makes the writer's choice of informing the Scoobies, this very poor choice, safety-wise, of informing the Scoobies of Dawn's true nature, a damn good choice.
Yeah.
Because this really moves the plot along. And actually, canonically, it makes a whole lot of sense. Buffy's still human.
Right.
It was a bad call.
The Scoobies.
But she had the right intentions.
Right.
And heart behind it.
But historically, the Scoobies have always been bad at fucking communicating.
Yeah, they're a very emotional bunch, and they're learning as they go, and they fuck up often.
Yeah.
But they manage to pull it together later as a team, and it warms my heart cockles. And that's what we were really going for, right?
Oh, yeah.
We need those heart cockle warmers.
Up in Dawn's room, they kind of try and calm her down and talk through it.
She wonders how long she's been alive. And I'm like,
only 6 months.
Oof, that's a tough question. Joyce tries to be like, you're 14, you know that, honey. And Buffy's like, no, we're fucking done with the gaslighting, Joyce.
Yeah.
She fucking knows what's up.
Yeah.
She's not particularly comforted by their offerings of comfort.
I mean, Dawn is very upset. She has absolutely every fucking right to be.
Absolutely. It is a huge mindfuck. And she accuses them of only wanting to protect her because it's Buffy's job and not actually caring about her. Personally, I would have thought that she'd be relieved to know that she's not fucking crazy about all the weird shit that's been happening.
Yeah, but she is also still a hormonal teenage girl.
As Spike points out later.
So, like, I definitely get the whole, like, oh, this is about you, isn't it? Like, I get that from her perspective.
Mm-hmm.
There's that dynamic. That's exactly where someone that age going through this immense emotional trauma
definitely
would lash out like that.
And so it all turns out to be just a bit too much for her, and you know what, that's fair. And she screams at them to leave, and thankfully they do. They just say, all right,
and goddamn,
good night.
Michelle Trachtenberg can fucking scream, dude.
Yeah, that was a hellacious scream. Oh boy, it hurt.
It felt so fucking real.
Yeah.
God damn.
I mean, I learned in high school, do not ask drama girls to scream, because they will.
They have trained for it.
Or it's just something they were into before this, and it's why they got into this. They get attention from screaming loudly and blood-curdlingly. Okay, I'm really just thinking of one person that I know. If you happen to be our one Patreon supporter who went to high school with me, you know who I mean. So, cut back to the magic box. Buffy's on a mission to find out more information about the key, because holy shit, she feels really bad about Dawn right now. Can't blame her. Xander mistakenly assumes it's because she's knuckling down on fighting Glory, but really, she just wants to help Dawn.
I absolutely fucking love Buffy's reaction here and her train of thought.
Yeah, because she feels like Dawn simply deserves to know where she comes from.
Yeah. Basically, the moment the decision of whether or not to tell Dawn is taken out of her hands, she is like, okay, the fucking path is 100% clear. This is what we're fucking doing.
Yeah.
Either help or get out of my way.
Yeah. The elephant in the room has been exposed, and we're moving on. And you know what? Frankly, it really was time.
Oh, God, yeah.
Plot-wise, writing-wise, definitely. I'm glad we don't have that hanging over all our heads anymore. Because even though we, finally agreed with their decision to withhold information about somebody tactically, that is still a burden. Even as just a viewer of a television show, you know? I'm like, can we all just stop lying,
You know,
please?
you mentioned, adoption earlier. And the
Which
whole
is kind of
thing,
true.
The whole thing kind of feels like that's not too bad of an analogy.
Yeah.
I've read that it is suggested to parents who adopt children to, always have that be a thing that is known. Not lord it over, obviously, but just...
Don't keep it a secret.
Yeah, don't, hide it away.
They ask, where did I come from? Well, I'm not your birth mother. You were born here, and this is your story.
Yeah.
Just treat it as matter-of-factly as you treat the sex talk.
Or,
etc.
How a lot of parents go way, way too far in making their kids believe in Santa Claus, only for that to be a fucking crushing reality.
Oh my God, Santa Claus is psychologically one of the worst things you can do to a child.
And
I've never gotten it.
I just realized I'm about to say this sentence, and I'm like, I'm not a parent, I'm not going to be a parent. But, if you want to be a good parent, you just be honest with your fucking kids.
Treat them like the adult you want them to be.
Yeah, because they are.
Yeah.
They are.
Don't treat them like children. Exactly. And
anyway, we're off.
If you have children and we sound a little too soapboxy, I apologize. But that's how we feel about it, coming from a non-child having standpoint, and we think we're being helpful.
It is, I openly admit it is fully informed by our trauma.
Yeah. We are broken little boys. And I feel like we have good ground to stand on when we say these things. If you'd like to open up a debate about it, we have a Facebook page.
Yeah, and a Twitter, and an email.
And a phone number. Give us a call at 269-743-0783. So
anyway, back to the scene. Giles is wondering how Dawn found his book.
Mm-hmm.
How she even got in the fucking magic shop.
Mm-hmm. And Anya notices a cigarette in the urn of Ishtar.
Yes.
And Buffy has an aha moment.
Yep.
Smash cut to Spike's crypt.
They know someone who smokes.
Who could that possibly... Oh, Spike. Buffy completely fucks up Spike's fingernail paint job in order to blame him for letting, hard air quotes, Dawn learn something that he did not even know about her either. Which doesn't make any fucking sense. But she sure is taking out a lot of raw emotion on Spike here.
Yeah.
He's good for it. He's immortal. It's fine.
Well, and Spike gets to get a little knife twist in here because he points out to her how she should have been honest with Dawn about all this.
Yeah.
And Buffy fucking knows it.
Yeah.
She knows that she should have been honest with Dawn.
He has a strangely legitimate case that he was just keeping Dawn safe on an adventure that she'd have taken sooner or later, whether he was there or not. Yeah. And had Buffy been more honest with her in the first place, this wouldn't be happening. So from Spike's perspective, I think this is a valid defense. He is only circumstantially wrong. Like, Buffy tactically should not have told her. The mistake she made was telling the Scooby Gang. They're great, but they also are just a gaggling flock of dipshits.
Yep.
And she wouldn't have figured it out if they hadn't known. What the actual fuck? Again, means to the end. End is great, means shitty.
I will always be here for you. And you've got Mr. Giles and your friends. Believe me, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Cut to Dawn's bedroom.
Yep. Joyce comes in and is like, Dawn, you're going to be late for school. Why the fuck does she have to go to school?
There is this little kind of passive-aggressive, you want me to make you some chicken and stars, treating her like she's sick. And she's like, I'm not fucking sick, Mom.
There's two lines in this exchange that I particularly loved. Dawn, in response to going to school, says, I'm not going to school. Blobs of energy don't need an education. And I just really liked that.
Kind of agree. She's
I
not
also
wrong.
agree. But yeah, Joyce basically responds with this overly saccharine, lovey, I'm going to be a good mom to you, when it's like, that is not what you ought to be doing. Like, she obviously wants to be left alone, needs to be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
But Dawn stabs back good and hard with, you're not my mother.
Ouch.
And that's just, it's true but harsh.
It is, yeah. There's a lot of shit to work through, and yeah, she definitely calls Joyce out on her well-meaning but poorly chosen tactic of helping her. And she decides that going to school is a better way to get what she needs than staying home. And she does.
Wonder what that was like.
I know, right?
Going to school to escape shit.
How do you think I got into theater? So, cut to the hospital.
Same way everyone got into theater, Josh.
Being a broken, abused individual, that's correct. And at this hospital, I believe we're in the mental ward where Jinx, and I at this point, I think they just gave up on Dreg altogether.
Yeah.
I think the actor probably had a conflict, or they didn't like him as a person, and they just switched to another identical character with a different name because somebody might have noticed. So Jinx is pestering Ben about some bullshit with Glory, and Ben tells Jinx very specifically which of his own assholes he should be stuffing things up, and offers assistance.
Yeah. Do you need help pointing out which asshole? Because you have more than one. Did you know that?
No, I don't. Well, you're gonna. Would you like to use the original one or this new one that I'm about to make? Here. and here and here. Anyway, so he's trying to tell Ben that he needs to set his animosities aside. Your fate is directly linked to your magnificently scented glorificus. And he's like, yeah, what's she gonna do to me? Fucking nothing. Because he knows that they share a body.
Yeah.
And she ain't got shit. Otherwise, it probably would have happened a long time ago.
This is another kind of one of those things that I wish I hadn't known. Like, this was kind of spoiled for me the first time I had ever watched Buffy, that they shared a body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really kind of would have loved that reveal. What it would have been like.
I want to know what effect this plot had on the step-sibling porn community. If any.
I'm not going to touch that subject. Moving on.
Oh, come on.
We go to Buffy's house in Dawn's room after school in the evening, where Dawn is going through her journals. And, you know, this is kind of an emotional moment, I think. You figure we've seen Dawn write in her journals before. It was kind of her thing.
Oh, it's how she it's how she was introduced as a character.
Yeah. And, you know, only 6 months of those journals is real.
Weird.
I wonder, that would be fascinating. If you actually, like, say this actually happened to you, you could go back and you could probably pinpoint the moment that
where you were conceived.
You actually literally started writing the journal.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a fascinating thought experiment. But obviously not something any of us can experience in reality.
Right.
That I know of. So, Joyce and Buffy are discussing the situation downstairs. Joyce's instinct is to smother Dawn because it's Joyce. Come on. So Buffy corrects her and tells her to give the girl some goddamn space.
Joyce in this episode has very much the energy of a parent going, well, have you tried not being gay?
Right.
She obviously wants to fix Dawn and make her happy again. It's like, that is not how people work.
Shouldn't we just keep gaslighting her? Yeah, it's anyway. So all right, back to Dawn. Dawn's upstairs and proves again that this poor girl, just simply has the worst timing on the planet. Because she overhears a small portion of the conversation between Buffy and Joyce, where Joyce complains about Dawn saying horrible things at school and getting suspended, to which Buffy responds, and I quote, "She probably feels like she can say or do anything right now. She's not real. We're not her family. We don't even know what she is." And of course, Buffy is saying this to empathize with where Dawn is coming from, but Dawn only hears the literal words coming out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Oops. And that's great writing.
Oh, it is.
That is a subtle difference in the delivery that only native English speakers or longtime English speakers could even pick up on.
Yeah. Well, and it's all about the lead-in to the line.
Also the lead-in, which she missed. So this understandably revs Dawn into this instant rage. She starts throwing shit around her room and starts ripping up her diary. And then back downstairs, I feel like we kind of had to back up the clock a few seconds to get to this point in the conversation where Joyce is like, "Buffy, how could you say such a mean thing about your own sister?" And Buffy's like, No. I mean, from Dawn's perspective. And she offers a valid solution. That's what I like about people. Like, throw a wrench in the gears all you want, but offer solutions. Otherwise,
exactly,
you're not being productive. So she's like, we're going to be able to fix this. We're not going to be able to fix this with a hug and a kiss and a bowl of soup. Ha ha. She doesn't even know that Joyce literally offered her a bowl of soup.
Right.
But that's a dig at her anyway.
But she probably does know that Joyce offered her a bowl of soup.
How would she?
Because she knows her mother.
I guess. But she says, Dawn needs to know where she came from. She needs real answers.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
And Joyce does reply back with, okay, yeah, but she needs her sister, not the Slayer. And in this instance, they are both right.
Yeah. Well, this derives another quote of the day for me. Joyce says, like you just said, what she needs is her sister, Buffy, not the Slayer. And Buffy says, the Slayer is the only thing standing between Dawn and this god from the bitch dimension that wants to shove her in some kind of lock and give her a good twirl. Mom, I need to be out there doing my job. I really enjoyed the shove her in some kind of lock and give her a good twirl.
It's very animated.
It was very Buffy speak.
Yeah.
And also, I kind of agreed with her. Like, she's trying to be a good sister by being a good Slayer. And she's trying to show her love with actions, not words, because words have surely failed them at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But in the midst of this argument, the smoke alarm goes off. Buffy briefly mistakes it for Willow's spell, her perimeter alarm spell.
Yeah. But it's not. No. Dawn set all her journals on fire.
Whoops. And apparently leapt out the window and left a fire in her wastebasket. And Joyce is surprisingly stoic in this moment.
I think I figured out why this episode hit me so fucking hard. I empathize with Dawn a lot.
Yeah.
In how some things were handled in growing up and how I was informed with shit that happened in my life. I totally understand the moment of losing your shit and destroying the room you're in.
Oh, completely.
And I had a moment where I had that breakdown of what's even the point, and I burned all of something that was very important to me.
I shattered a calculator in the middle of class one time because I was so stressed about...
I've done that. I did that many a times in school.
I put holes in my walls in my bedroom after throwing shit around, only to be met with more derision from my mother and zero understanding. It was so fucked up. I mean, anybody who's ever had their emotions regularly and completely invalidated when they were 100% right can empathize with Dawn. And both of us know exactly where that's coming from.
Yeah.
So Buffy, guess what? Gets to run off and find Dawn now. So we cut to the magic box where Buffy raises the alarm bells with all the Scoobies present, even Spike. And she sends Giles and Xander to the center of town, Willow and Tara to the west side of town, and she and Spike will take the east side.
Okay, I want to point out the thing I had you put a pin in, which I can't remember what you were talking about.
Me either.
At that point. But this right here, I just wanted to mention it's very, very subtle because everybody else in the Scooby Gang is constantly responding to the thought of Dawn as like she's this new thing.
Well, they're struggling. They are all notably struggling with the knowledge of their memories of Dawn being fabricated.
Right. And I do get that.
Yeah.
But Buffy is handling it exceptionally well because...
Well, she's known longer.
But she handled it exceptionally well when she found out even. Because you remember she had that moment where she came home after finding out about it. She had one freak out with Dawn.
But that was before she knew the true nature of Dawn.
Right.
She just knew that she was some sort of outside entity.
And the moment she found out that Dawn was completely fabricated, she just took it in stride.
Yeah.
Like, I know that this isn't what the writers were going for, but the whole way that all the characters are reacting to this, to me, reads how some of my trans friends have talked about living after coming out as trans.
I specifically thought it was very analogous to knowing trans people because Buffy catches herself referring to Dawn as a what instead of who.
Exactly.
When she's talking about the Knights of Byzantium finding out about the key. And that was very analogous to accidentally misgendering a trans person.
Yeah, and, I'm not trans, but my partner is non-binary.
Mm-hmm.
One of my closest friends is trans, and another close friend of ours is non-binary.
Yep.
And, a large portion of my social circle is queer, trans, or something.
Yeah.
And, like, they weren't writing this but this is how it feels. And it does it really well, because there's a difference between a person misgendering you when they're legitimately trying to not misgender you versus a person who misgenders you because they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And then they catch themselves because you're there. And like, I've talked with a few people, and it is a very real issue. I just really commend how Buffy handles it, because she, she's misstepping too, but she, in this moment, puts her foot down and she's like, no, it doesn't fucking matter that she's only 6 months old. All of our memories, we choose them to be real. She is real.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
a
that
person. And this is, we're done with that conversation.
Yeah, it's very heartwarming that they make that conscious decision to accept her as a member of the family.
Exactly.
Even though they know that the memories are technically false. But she's still, that doesn't change that she's a real person with real emotions.
Exactly.
And the memories might as well be real at this point.
All your memories are
difference?
Technically false.
They're just
fucking random shit your brain makes up.
They're literally no different than memory in a hard drive at this point.
Exactly.
After it's happened.
Exactly.
So that's fun and reality crushing. So
Once upon a time, there was a kitty. She was very little, and she was all alone, and nobody wanted her.
Did the kitty get chosen by some nice people?
Well, now you ruined the ending.
Anyway, as you said, Buffy doles out tasks. They all part ways. We cut to a park briefly with Dawn walking around, and she's remembering playing in that park when they first moved it to town.
She's remembering Buffy pushing her on a swing when they were younger, and she looks all lost and forlorn, like you do when you're having an existential crisis. Cut to a back alley downtown somewhere
where
Xander
I
and
have
Giles.
never ever wanted to hurt Xander so much.
He needs a good thrashing here.
And I don't mean someone needs to just punch him. No, I mean someone needs to beat him to a pulp with a baseball bat for his behavior in this entire scene.
That's really intense. Let's work up to it. So Xander and Giles are having a perfectly reasonable musing over the idea of remembering all sorts of things about Dawn.
Yeah.
And as Giles puts it, the idea of a bright 14-year-old actually being living energy, thousands of years old. An energy which people have killed and died for and raised armies to control, etc.
It is a hell of a thing to wrap your head around.
It absolutely is, and it's all poignant, and then fucking nice guy Xander has to go make...
No. This isn't even nice guy Xander.
We'll fucking get there. He has to go and make the creepiest possible observation for the sheer sake of stroking his sad, pitiful ego. That Dawn kind of sort of has a crush on him, and well, isn't that just something?
And
just saying, powerful being, big energy gal, digging the Xan, man. Some guys are just cooler, you know? And Giles has the exact proper response, which is it is a reserved but proper response.
Yeah, it's the proper reserved response.
With a discerning look as if Xander were actively squatting over his bowl of Cheerios at the breakfast table as he delivers a king-size chocolate bar for an early dessert. And then Giles walks away as if the very concept of impropriety has been shaken on a global scale, for it surely has.
This is by far the absolute most inappropriate thing they've ever written for this character.
It really is. It's not even... And again, let's put a pin in that, because there are other things that happen, or that are said, rather, later in this episode that similarly are fucking inappropriate. But yeah, I completely understand the baseball bat urge. That being said, why don't we just move on?
Okay.
Unless there was something you really needed to expound upon.
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
We cut to Spike and Buffy.
Someone who's actually cooler.
Yes. We cut to Spike and Buffy is yelling out Dawn's name, and Spike is like, that's dumb, you should stop.
Yeah, she's literally running away from you. You're just going to make her run farther.
We have a really good moment here between these two characters.
We do, in fact.
Because Buffy admits that Spike was right about how, she should have told Dawn.
Which he technically was.
And then we get a quote of the day from Spike here.
Uh-huh.
And it goes, "She probably would have skipped off anyway, even if she never found out. She's not just a blob of energy. She's also a 14-year-old hormone bomb. Which one's screwing with her more right now? Spin the bloody wheel." And yeah, sure, the existential crisis is a big deal, but also, like, she's still a 14-year-old girl.
Right. I mean, I'm not 100% convinced that she would have run off anyway, because if this hadn't been happening, they probably wouldn't have been gaslighting her quite so much.
Right.
And she probably wouldn't have flew off the handle quite so badly. I really think he's just actually empathizing with Buffy. He's surprisingly supportive and empathetic, and I see no telltale signs of having ulterior motives in trying to comfort Buffy. I would actually say that this here right now might be truly the first moment that these two interact as friends in a completely non-awkward, self-conscious way.
And I believe it. I believe it.
Exactly.
I believe it especially because the dynamic that Spike has with Dawn makes this feel more genuine. Because, like, he has a good dynamic with Dawn. Like, he actually enjoys
and respects her.
And respects Dawn. And also, if there's anybody in the entire fucking episode who is handling the ridiculousness of Dawn perfectly, it's fucking Spike.
Yeah.
He doesn't once slip up and call her a thing or anything like that.
Yeah. Or whisper about her behind her back.
Exactly.
I can't believe she's not real. Oh my God. Or, hot take, Spike is full of shit and completely fighting every deep down urge to control his desire to laugh in Buffy's face because he knows that the long game move here is to show empathy and gain trust and dig his claws in as deeply as possible so he can get his hand all the way up her anus through the esophagus and into her skull so he can make a humiliating puppet show out of the Slayer. Figuratively, of course. Yeah. Figuratively.
I mean, both. Why not?
So
he does like Dawn.
Why not both? Why not? I truly believe the first, though. But
yeah,
based on Spike's history, it could be option B.
And I mean, Spike has always been a little bit more humanistic for a vampire than any other vampire we've encountered.
He's always been an emotional boy.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we hear an ambulance siren in the distance. Cut to an alleyway.
Yep.
Where Dawn is walking as an ambulance with full sirens passes her by. Probably the same one.
Yes.
Almost certainly the same one. She decides to follow it to the hospital.
Where, she goes right into the hospital.
Sure, why not?
Nobody stops her.
Why would they?
And she goes right into the psych ward. Again, nobody stops her.
Why would they?
And she's there to talk to the crazy people.
Because she remembers at least 3 insane people approaching her and saying weird shit to her before.
Yep.
And
she wants answers, and she figures that they might know things.
Hey,
because,
these
crazy.
people have been the most honest to her in the last 13 episodes.
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's very valid.
So this time is no different, but this time it makes sense to her.
Yep.
The now insane Knight of Byzantium, Orlando, as we happen to know his name, he's there, and he recognizes her as the key.
Yep.
Dawn desperately runs to him, hoping to get more information out of him, but he quickly goes back to spouting what sounds like gibberish to her, but we recognize it as the Knight's chant from earlier. The link must be severed. Such is the will of God.
Yeah.
Such is the will of God. And so Dawn gets miffed and runs to the door.
And runs into Ben.
Hey, it's Ben.
Oh, you seem upset.
You know what you need?
Hot chocolate.
Hot fucking chocolate.
Specifically, stolen illicit hot chocolate.
The way they wrote his line about here's a hot steaming cup of chocolatey goodness, he was indistinguishable for just a moment from something Xander would say. And now it's like, that's the California in them coming through.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
That's where it was. That's where it came from. He's just a valley boy.
Did you know that this episode is brought to you by illicit hot chocolate? Always the best way to have hot chocolate when it is not yours and you have stolen it.
But are there marshmallows?
No. You didn't steal marshmallows, apparently.
What about monkey brains? Can we put some monkey brains in it? That would help.
Have at that.
Which one's easier to find? I'm not sure.
Marshmallows are easier to find. You can even make marshmallows. It's difficult to make monkey brains.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom has led me to believe that monkey brains, all you have to do is go on a wild adventure to, I don't know, some foreign country.
I'm going to say that is inaccurate. And
they'll feed you baby snakes straight from the mother's womb.
No, it is inaccurate and, let's be honest, racist.
And fresh chilled monkey brains. Yeah. God damn it.
It's racist.
George, whatever your last name is from Star Wars.
Lucas.
See, that's how much I care about him. Fuck you, George Lucas. You ruined Star Wars.
Anyway, this is the moment where she reveals to Ben that she is the key, or rather gives him enough information that he's like, oh my god, you're the key. And he starts to panic and tells her to run because Glory is going to know and she's on her way here right now.
And Dawn, understandably, is a bit confused and wonders how the fuck could he possibly know about the key? Well, we're about to find out because she doesn't know how to fucking listen when somebody goddamn well tells her to run, especially with an ominous panic. In this case, Ben, direct quote, "Go before she finds you. Don't ask me how she knows, because she always knows. Just go."
I don't know about you, Josh, but if I were sitting having hot chocolate with somebody that I have had enough experience to know them to be a calm, collected, sane individual.
I was going to say a sane person.
And then they all of a sudden, out of nowhere, start freaking out and yelling at me to run away.
Jumped up and said, "Run, for your life surely depends on it." I think I'd run.
I don't think I would think about it at all. I think it would just happen.
Wouldn't question it too much. I mean, I sure would question it as I'm running. I'd be like, boy, I have a lot of questions for later.
I don't know why I'm running, but everything in my immediate vicinity informs me that this is a good choice.
And I would have enough adrenaline in my bloodstream where running would really be the only physically good choice for me. Otherwise, you just can't. I hate that heart pounding and you're not doing anything sensation, you know? So, too late, he clutches onto her arms as he terrifyingly informs her that the call is in fact coming from inside the house. She's here. As Ben morphs into Glory right there in front of Dawn's face. Bam! There it is.
Dun dun dun.
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn.
God, that's a terrible reference.
And Ace Ventura isn't funny anymore, god damn it.
It's not.
But that's all I could think of.
That's a very sexist reference.
Is it number 1 or number 2? I just want to know how much time I have.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's
a poop joke.
That's just a toilet joke.
A poop
There's
joke.
nothing wrong with that. But yeah, no, the entire Finkel-Einhorn thing, very transphobic.
The whole...
It's like the definition of transphobic.
Precisely.
So
Anyway.
First things first, Glory, instead of Ben, it's Glory now. She slips into something simultaneously more and less comfortable.
Yeah.
It appears to be some sort of red satin top. I guess Ben just carries her clothes around with him to make things easier.
She complains about cotton. It's so pedestrian. I happen to be a fan of 100% cotton, thank you.
Well, that's because you're a blue-collar loser, Rex. You're not a hell god. What do you know about materials?
I have a definitionally blue-collar job.
You kind of do.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them. Anyway, it doesn't take long of Dawn being petrified and confused for Glory to start threatening to rip her spine out.
Yeah.
And then start digging deep on exactly why the fuck the Slayer's little sister was hanging out with old Benny Boy. And she goes as far as to backhandedly imply that Ben was being inappropriate with her. Well, for fuck's sake, Glory, he's not Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Remember that pin we put in the thing about Xander?
Yeah.
This is where it is.
Yeah.
And also a little bit in the next scene that I'm just going to skip a little bit. Well, let's put a pin in it again, and then we'll really dig deep. I really want to save the real discussion for after the Gurarg.
Yep.
So we're going to pin that
trying.
again. Just remember this.
Yes.
Was Ben being inappropriate with you? Okay, moving on. And and Glory also snaps a security guard's neck and returns to Dawn with her signature Valley Girl psychopath casualness.
Feel free to tell me if this next part gets a little too personal because I'm told I have boundary issues. But I'm hurt. I am great, I am beautiful, and when I walk into a room, all eyes turn to me because my name is a holy name and you will listen.
Cut to the park.
Yep, where nobody can find Dawn, and so, Buffy rightfully decides, I guess we'll check the hospital because, hey, there's, normal people danger out here too.
Yeah, there's always the chance she got mugged in an alley.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Yeah. So they're off to the hospital. Back at the hospital.
Yep, where Glory's questioning Dawn about the key. I really was surprised that they stayed at the hospital. I was kind of expecting that she'd, take Dawn back to her fucking penthouse or something.
Right, but they need to stage a fun scene for the fight. So now they're in a lab with lots of glass beakers and tubes
and X-rays
on the wall,
on the light
with
panels
those backlight things. Exactly.
But kudos to Dawn here. She is a clever girl.
Oh, yes.
Because she angles the situation so that Glory needs to tell her more about the key.
Yeah, she starts digging for information. She's got the opportunity, and she doubles up on buying herself time.
Yep.
I'm going to get information and buy time. So Dawn plays along really well, asking questions like, well, what does the key look like? Maybe if you told me more about it, I'd know if I'd seen it. Yeah, great move, Dawn. But here's where that pin is coming out again for a moment. Glory does this weird thing where she pins Dawn against the counter, looking her up and down, and does this sniff at her face suddenly, then stares intensely into her eyes. And it's seriously... Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I want to be wrong so bad. It seriously looks like she's about to throw Dawn up on the table, but she doesn't. And isn't that what's important?
I didn't read it that way.
Really?
I didn't.
Okay.
Well, because the biggest...
So between the Xander moment of, ooh, she's got a crush on me, and Glory saying, was Ben being inappropriate? And this moment right here, remember it, everybody, the... in the face, the look up and down. Any one of these things alone, no big deal. 2 out of 3, all right, whatever. All of them combined, who's writing this slasher porn? What is going on? So, still, pin back in that, and we're gonna talk more about that after the Gurarg.
Yeah.
So, cut back to the front lobby, where Buffy informs the Scoobies that Dawn has not been admitted in any official capacity to the hospital. And just then, the most unprofessional idiot, I think he was a janitor.
No, he was a security guard.
He was wearing overalls. I watched this several times.
Oh, was he?
This guy was telling the security guards, and he was wearing overalls. There's no way he was a security guard. He walks past, talking way too loudly about this guy who has nearly had his head twisted clean off. You got to see it. And at this exact moment, he passes through a crowd of civilians that happens to be the Scooby Gang.
His whole tone was more of like, hey guys, look at this weird rock that I found.
Yeah.
Someone's dead.
Yeah. I'm like, wow. Weren't they lucky to be there for all that information?
Yes.
Thank you, Chris Farley. So Buffy surmises from this that it must be a sign of Glory. How convenient.
I mean, Occam's razor.
Yeah. She wasn't wrong.
No?
I mean, you got to give some leeway to the writer team. They had to get him there, and they didn't have a whole lot of time. I'm fine with this kind of bottlenecking of the plot.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's going to happen.
So, back to Glory and Dawn, where they're just kind of chatting. Dawn worries that the key's evil.
Glory is notably on the other side of the room now.
Yeah.
Not pinning Dawn against the counter.
No, it's a very casual chat.
Yes. And so Dawn asks, is the key old? Is it evil? What is it for? Glory really fucks with her on the evil question. She's like, oh, totally. Yeah, it's like really super evil.
I don't think Glory's fucking with her at all. Because she says it's about your perspective.
Okay.
Because to the good guys, the key's not evil. To the bad guy who's trapped on the mortal realm, the key is evil. Because it's what keeps her here.
That sounds like true neutral to me.
Yeah.
It's all in how you use it.
Yeah.
It is not inherently good or bad.
That is correct.
Okay. So, evil!
But here is where Dawn slightly overplays her hand.
Slightly.
And Glory starts suspecting that Dawn is playing her.
Specifically on it's a key, right? So there has to be a lock. What does it open?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's like, that information isn't relevant to you understanding what the key is and if you've seen it.
I smell a fox in my hen house.
But yeah,
luckily, she's not the brightest bulb in the crayon box.
No.
And she's like, I know what's going on here. You don't have a damn clue where my key is.
You know, they were kind of like hinting that she was like starting to lose her mind a bit.
Yeah.
Like she's getting close to the point where she needs to suck someone's brain. And I was really expecting her to turn and look at Dawn and see Dawn for what she was.
Ooh, because if she gets too crazy,
yeah,
then she'll start seeing, oh my God, I bet that's how she finds out later.
That's my guess.
Oh,
I sure as fuck don't remember.
Oh, damn. That's cool. That's going to be neat. I look forward to that.
But I get a quote of the day here from Glory.
Me too. I bet it's the same one.
2 birds, 1 stone, and boom, you have yummy dead birds.
To add on to that quote of the day, specifically, she wants to send a message to the Slayer, and I could use a little pick-me-up. 2 birds, 1 stone, boom, you got yummy dead birds. Now I'm like, holy hell! You just had Orlando like this morning, didn't you? What do you need, 3 square meals a day of fresh human sanity? What are you, diabetic?
I mean, maybe she's like a camel and needs to stock up for a long winter.
Sure. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, these are not the words of a sane person, but I like the way
she's not a person.
I like the
nor
way
sane.
That is true. Truth. I like the way she thinks with her stomach, though. Get the grill out.
Can relate.
Yeah. It's time for summer. I'm sick of winter. But anyway, Buffy snaps into a Slim Jim, grows some wings, squeezes a can of spinach so hard it parabolically arcs into her mouth, and washes it down with some fruit punch Kool-Aid because she's all like, oh yeah, get the hell away from my sister. And they fight.
So Buffy attacks Glory. Spike tries to help fight Glory.
Yeah, it's adorable.
But he gets thrown. And then
Spike calls her a skank.
Yeah.
Glory calls Spike Buffy's boyfriend. Buffy takes very much exception to this.
Yes. Buffy tries to distract Glory so that Giles can shoot her with a crossbow and it just fucking bounces off her.
Like a foam dart.
Right. Almost like it was a real foam dart.
I can't imagine.
Taro and Willow are in the background chanting.
Xander gets some crowbar action.
Yeah, good classic weapon of choice.
Which happens to end up doing more damage to Buffy than anybody.
Yeah, because he clubs Glory with the crowbar. It doesn't do anything.
Of course not.
And then, she chucks Xander into Giles.
And then she javelonches the crowbar at Buffy.
No, she launches it at Dawn and Buffy dives into it.
Oh yeah, Buffy takes the crowbar instead. She's fine though. They're all bloody. Everybody's bloody. We finish up the fight with Willow and Tara sealing the deal with some beautiful pixie dust and some chanting that makes her disappear.
They pull off a kinky teleportation spell.
And they don't know where she went.
Because there's kinks.
Giggity. We got to outside where Glory joins the Mile High Club, but without the sex.
Or the plane.
Or an airplane. Exactly. And she falls. I think, wasn't the Hollywood sign in the background?
I
want to say it was those hills. It looked like the Hollywood Hills. Okay. Anyway, hospital lab. Right back to the hospital lab. Giles chides Willow for using such an advanced spell for an adept such as herself. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. And then, I'm not crying, Josh, you're crying.
No, I'm not crying, you're crying. Buffy checks on Dawn to see if she's okay, who still can't understand why Buffy would or should care. But Buffy assures her that no matter how she became her sister, she is now her sister, and she loves her. Yeah. And fuck, that's beautiful.
They do the whole, like, blood siblings thing because they both have open wounds.
Nobody had to cut their own palms. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I love that they're just canonically, completely choosing to accept all the fake memories as real now because it's just nicer that way. And since it's all for a good cause anyway, all the better.
Exactly. And, you know,
there's no reason not to.
The scene closes out with Buffy pointing out that Joyce is probably freaking out right now and we need to get you home.
Notably, Dawn remembers that Ben was there, but can't seem to remember him becoming Glory. And Bluffy. I said Bluffy. Buffy takes a moment to mentally note to thank him for helping her later, which something tells me is going to come up real soon.
Yep. The last line here is Buffy is like, oh, Joyce is all probably freaking out. You know, Dawn's legitimately worried that, like, oh, how is she mad that I, like, set things on fire in my room? And Buffy's like, no, you probably got a get out of jail free card, you know, due to big love and trauma.
And Dawn decides to take it one step further and asks do you think she'd raise my allowance?
Don't push it.
Gur-arg.
Fucking arg.
Is this for me? I must be ready. I need my strength. Give me more! Nights I shall walk in the earth. Hold on. You've got something in your eye.
All right, Rex.
This episode hits hard on so many different levels for so many different reasons, and not all of them good.
Not all of them good. First thing I want to get out of the way, that whole awkward pinning nonsense, literally and figuratively. So Xander needing to be beaten with a baseball bat because he's proud that a 14-year-old has a crush on him, and boy, that sure makes him cool. One of Glory's first instincts is to say, well, was Ben being inappropriate with you, little 14-year-old girl? And then nearly doing something inappropriate to her herself. God, she had this hungry look on her face like the fucking wolf from Into the Woods. So we all know this is fact. Real life fact. There was a rule on set, and I'm sorry if you've all heard this 8 million times now and don't want to talk about it anymore, so I'm going to try and keep this short.
Yeah.
On the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they had to make a rule where Joss Whedon could not be left alone under any circumstances in any space with the actress Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yep. Yeah.
Because the one time that they did, she came out of the room horribly shaken. We have no other details.
No other details.
And this
hints to details.
This hints to details. This hints to Joss Whedon or some writer. I didn't, I should have looked up who wrote this, and
I have looked it up. It is Stephen D. Knight.
Okay. Well, that doesn't mean that it didn't have Joss Whedon's influence on it, because it really feels like somebody said to themselves, I cannot contain my inappropriate desires towards this minor, and I don't know how to express that, so I'm going to write it into this script.
It actually looks like this was the first episode of Buffy that he wrote.
Interesting.
He wrote a lot more Angel than he wrote of Buffy.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying anything bad about him. We all have our informants about Joss Whedon's behavior on the set,
Yep.
And his influences over the writers. We know how he treated his writers and how he was very persuasive and inappropriate with the writers.
Yep.
So just because that's the writing credit doesn't mean this doesn't have Joss Whedon screaming in the background with inappropriateness.
Yeah.
And just completely laden with overtones of pedophilia.
Yeah.
And that makes your desire to beat Xander with a baseball bat pretty appropriate. I've felt like this whole show, Xander is a ringer for Joss Whedon.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
when
mean,
they
he
realize...
He has said in interviews that he wrote Xander to be an everyman.
Everyman.
Yeah.
Hard air quotes there.
But yeah,
So that's as brief as I can keep it.
Yeah.
I'm a little drunk. How'd you feel about this episode, Rex?
Like, aside from that, oh god, it was so fucking good.
Pretty good otherwise, I know,
oh my
right?
God. It hit home in a lot of little ways, but the emotional scenes in this episode, the acting was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Amber Benson, oh my god.
yeah, Amber Benson's
Ermagerd.
Michelle Trachtenberg's.
Oh, she's
like just
slayed
holy
this
shit.
episode.
Holy shit.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I can't imagine being this good at literally anything at age 14.
Oh my god, seriously.
Or, well, 15. But
15.
Still.
She started when she was before she was 10.
Yeah, I know.
She's more seasoned of an actress here.
Pretty much the exact same age as us.
Yeah. Then, I don't know. She's got more experience here than probably other adult actors on the show.
Yeah.
At this point. It was stellar. I don't feel like there's anything I can add that we haven't already talked about.
No, I completely agree.
My God, we're so over on time.
Yeah, we really are. The last final thing I want to say is, I want to say to you, you were right, because you pushed to do back and forth between Buffy and Angel.
Yeah.
And I resisted that.
Yeah.
Eventually, I caved, and halfway through watching this episode, I was like, oh god, this is so much better than the last episode of Angel. And then I realized the last like handful of episodes of Angel have been just not fun.
Yeah.
But I'm not burnt out because we keep coming back to the better Buffy.
Honestly, for that reason, I've been thinking recently I was wrong for us to be doing it back and forth like that.
Yeah, but
however,
could you imagine the slog of going through that bad chunk of Angel episodes, like, and just every week, every time we record, it's that would be hard.
Incidentally, I think you're right. This is better overall.
It does take a little bit of shine off, but it's so much better.
It's helping us hold on to the bigger picture.
Exactly.
And it's dragging out, in a good way,
yeah,
the good parts. Anyway, what's your quote of the day, Rex?
In the end, with how this episode hit me, I think I'm actually going to go with a line that we didn't actually read in the episode recap. And that is what Buffy was saying at the very end. After asking if Dawn is okay, Dawn's like, oh, why do you care? And Buffy says, because I love you, you're my sister. And Dawn says, no, I'm not. And Buffy says, and this is the quote, yes, you are. Look, it's blood. It's Summer's blood. It's just like mine. It doesn't matter where you came from or how you got here. You are my sister. There's no way you could annoy me so much if you weren't. And that right there encapsulates the whole episode. It encapsulates all the emotion here. And it is the chef's kiss to all the amazing, deep emotional acting we've seen in this episode.
Good. Excellent quote. There were a handful of really deep quotes between Buffy and Dawn that really encapsulated this episode and were super emotional and highbrow writing. And I'm glad you chose one of those so that I can go with Spike's interaction with Dawn Geez, lurk much?
I fucking knew it.
I wasn't lurking. I was standing about. It's a whole different vibe.
I knew at the moment you read it in the recap that you were going to pick that one. I felt it.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was an excellent fucking line and perfect delivery, as you would always get from James Marsters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this has been another episode of Beer with Buffy. Don't forget to find us on Facebook, join our Facebook group, follow us on Twitter. We've been getting a ton of traffic and interactions in our Facebook group. It's been a lot of fucking fun.
Loving it.
You can email us at beerwithbuffy@gmail.com. You can message us on Twitter and Facebook. You can also give us a call, leave a voicemail, or send a text to
269-743-0783.
We would love to hear any of the feedback that you have. If you'd like to give us official feedback, you can do so on iTunes with a review. And hey, whatever podcast app you listen to, check there. You might be able to do reviews on it and let us know, and we will send you a sticker.
Damn right, free stickers.
Seriously, we want to give you free stickers.
Free stickers for all.
If you would like to purchase a sticker and not do a review, I don't know why you'd want to just pay for it and not get it free, but you can do that at beerwithbuffy.com/shop. If you would like to just financially help us out, make this show possible, you can join our list of executive doodle-doos at patreon.com/beerwithbuffy. As always, thank you very much to JJ Treadway for all of our opening and closing music, and not so much the Buffy cat theme. This has been Beer with Buffy. I'm Rex.
I'm Josh.
Have a good night.
Keanu Speed Rex.
Reeves be with you.
You are the Slayer. Lives depend upon you. I make allowances for your years, but I expect a certain amount of responsibility, and instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult.
You don't like the color?
You have a sacred birthright. You were chosen to destroy vampires, not to wave pom-poms at people.
Why can't you people just leave me alone?
You are the Slayer.
Go ahead. Prepare me.
I'm a watcher. I haven't the skill.
Oh, come on.
By appealing to your common sense. Common sense. Werewolves, incubi, succubi, everything you've ever dreaded was under your bed, but told yourself couldn't be by the light of day.
One gal in all the world.
Common sense.
One gal in all the world.
Common sense. It was a bit, British, wasn't it?
Whee! Wait, what have we done? Why are we watching this?